Members, it's time and we have a quorum. First of all, confirmation of the minutes of the 7th meeting held on the 22nd of November 2013. The minutes have been forwarded to members. We have not received any comments. Can we confirm the minutes, please? Thank you. Matters arising. When I met with the Chief Secretary for Administration, I told her that members thought some time ago she hosted a lunch for Mr. Li Fei and Mr. Zhang Rengshun at the government house, but she only invited 7 LegCo members. It's not appropriate. Members believe the government should arrange for the entire LegCo to meet with Director Li, and the government should also consult LegCo on important matters in future. And then the deputy chairman also told the chief secretary that the Democratic camp would still like the chief secretary to come to the council to make a statement when the government publishes the constitutional reform consultation document, and before having a detailed discussion at the panel on constitutional affairs. Thank you. Ms. Emily Lau, did the chief secretary explain why she invited those 7 members? She didn't explain. She just heard what I and the deputy chairman said. So how did you conduct dialogue if that's the case? Did you just speak to the wall? No, she heard us and she said she would take that into consideration. Mr. Chairman, let me supplement. It's just my personal perception. I think the Chief Secretary realized that the arrangement was inappropriate, and I think next time she would make a better arrangement, but she didn't give a formal response. Mr. Chairman, so when would the Chief Secretary come to this council? On the day of the announcement, she would come at the first instance. She didn't tell you when? No. Well, she didn't say. It should be before the end of this year. Will she come to the council? She did not say for sure if she would go to the council or the panel, but she heard members' views. Mr. Leung Kwok Hong? When Qiao Xiaoyang came, he invited all of us to the government house for his speech. I made some noise and I was thrown out. When Qiao Xiaoyang came, it was about a decision of the Standing Committee of the NPC. It was on interpretation. You would all recall that it was 2007. This time, Chief Secretary was the host. She invited the officials to come here, and she actually told us that, yes, I was the host, but I didn't treat you well, sorry. I didn't take care of you properly, sorry. But I don't think it's appropriate, because last time when Qiao Xiaoyang was here, he was the one who made the initiative, and Donald Tsang had just to cozy up to him. That's why he entertained him. But this time around, it's the Chief Secretary who invited Director Li Fei to come to Hong Kong. LegCo is a body that's supposed to monitor the work of the government, but the host, of a wedding banquet actually chooses not to invite the VIPs. I think the Chief Secretary doesn't know her manners, really. Now, and then you went to ask her why she invited the 7, and she said she didn't know why. Well, maybe she's got a disease or something. She should take medication. Now, she's the host. If she didn't invite Director Li Fei, he wouldn't come. So she's actually the host, and that's how she starts off with this case. Well, I think it's sophistry again. I'm really not happy. I know there's no point asking you to talk to her. I go right to her directly. Well, at the meeting, I did convey members' dissatisfaction to her. Okay. Business arising from previous council meetings. Legal Service Division report on subsidiary legislation gazetted on the 22nd November 2013 and tabled in Council on the 27th of November 2013. Acting Legal Advisor, please. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It is paper number LS 16/13-14. There is just one item of subsidiary legislation. The Antiquities and Monuments Declaration of Historical Buildings Notice 2013. The legal notice is to designate 2 places as historical buildings. The first one is the Cenotaphs in Central, and the other is the Bethany at Pokfulam Road. After the announcements made. These two places become historical buildings. They will be protected by the legislation. That means unless there's permission, otherwise no one could build or carry out any works on the site that may interfere with the with the monument. Now the Gazette, the LN came into effect on the 22nd of November when it was gazetted. Thank you. Members, do you wish a set up a subcommittee? Ms. Chen Yunhan. Well, I'm sure members read from the news report that some time ago, residents applied to the UNESCO to declare the Pokfulam village as tangible, as some sort of a cultural site. And now here, the Bethany is now to be declared a monument. So I would want to set up a subcommittee because this may be related to the Pokfulam village. I want the government to respond to the amount of the Pokfulam village. Okay, Madam Chen Yuhan proposes a subcommittee. Who would like to join, please? Fine. So the Secretariat will circulate the paper to members. If I may remind members, the deadline for amending notice is the 18th of December or the 15th of January 2014 if extended by resolution. Further business for the Council meeting of the 4th of December 2013. Report number 6/13 to 14 of the House Committee on consideration of subsidiary legislation and other instruments. On the Country Parks Destination Consolidation Amendment Order 2013, 3 members have indicated their intention to speak on the order. But as Dr. Lau Wong-Fat has given notice to move a proposed resolution at the Council meeting to amend the order, and subject to the President's approval for the moving of the proposed resolution, members will have the opportunity to speak on the order. In that case, I will not move a motion to take note of the report in relation to the order. Business for the Council meeting of the 11th of December 2013. Questions, 22 questions have been scheduled, 6 oral and 16 written. Bills first reading and moving of second reading, no notice has been received yet. Government motion, again, no notice has been received. Members' motions. Enhancing the railway service in the Northeast NT, motion moved by Mr. Leung Chi-Cheong and motion by Ms. Alice Mack on stepping up the promotion of primary healthcare development and improving healthcare services for elderly people. Members, the deadline for giving notice of amendments to the 2 motions is the 4th of December. Ms. Emily Lau. Ms. Emily Lau? Yes, Mr. Chairman, if I may go back to the meeting on the 4th of December. It's expected to be lengthy, right? Can you please inform members? Now, Wednesday, if we can't finish, we'll stop at 10 p.m. Thursday, we start at 2:30 p.m., right, Mr. Chairman? What if by 10 p.m. On Thursday we don't finish? So what is the suggestion of the Secretariat or the President? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're still trying to work out how much time is needed. But the standing practice is on Thursday morning there's a meeting with the District Council. That's why the Council meeting will resume at 2:30 p.m. on Thursday. Ms. Emily Lau is right. Now, if there's a need, we're trying to see whether we need to start again. If we do, probably on Friday we'll start at 9 a.m. But then we have to work out approximately how much time will be needed for the whole meeting. Of course, I understand the Secretariat has to work out the duration, but the members need to know too, because on Friday afternoon there is a House Committee and also 2 sessions of Finance Committee meeting. So if the Council meetings resume on Friday morning, what time will it go up to? And then in the afternoon we have the House Committee and Finance Committee, and maybe we have to come back for the Council meeting afterwards. So we members need to know a rough estimate. When can you tell us? Well, I think it's hard to say because we wouldn't know how many members wish to speak. Now, for Dr. Lau Wong-Fat's motion, if it's permitted, it's 15 minutes each. A PMP motion is also 15 minutes each. Last PMP motion, it lasted 13 hours. But the thing is, the President will not say that on Thursday we will continue till all business is finished. So he will stop at 10 p.m. And the next morning at 9 a.m. probably the meeting will resume. We don't know up to when. And then we have 2 other meetings in the afternoon. We may have to come back again. You mean that it will be up to about 2 p.m. and then we have the House Committee and then the Finance Committee, and if the Council meeting is still not finished, then it will resume after the Finance Committee. In that case, Secretary, please inform members. So it's possible that we need to come back on Saturday. The meeting will go on till Saturday. Perhaps we will see. Perhaps we will leave it till the next Wednesday. We wouldn't know yet. Next, position on bills committees and subcommittees. As at the 28th of November, there are 9 bills committees, 6 subcommittees under the House Committee, 7 subcommittees on policy issues under panels in action, 4 subcommittees on policy issues are on the waiting list. Next, report of the delegation of the panel on environmental affairs on the study visit to the Republic of Korea to study its experience on waste management and priority allocation. Sorry. Yes, Mr. Gary Chen. Mr. Chairman, members, thank you. The panel on environmental affairs conducted a study visit to Seoul, South Korea in April this year to look at their waste management experience. I'm giving this report on behalf of the delegation. In view of the wide public concern on the issues of waste reduction, recycling and waste treatment facilities, which are covered in the report, the panel agreed to seek the approval of the House Committee in accordance with House Rule 14AH for me to move a motion for debate on the report at the for Ms. Sit Ho to move a motion for debate on the report at the December 18th Council meeting. So there will be the opportunity for all members to express views on the subject and for the administration to respond. The wordings of the motion are in Annex 2 to the paper. The panel also proposes that this debate be held in addition to the 2 other debates on members' motions not intended to have legislative effect scheduled for the December 18th Council meeting. We ask members to approve the request of the panel. Thank you. Well, let's look at it. Let's look at 2 separate issues first. The members for the Council meeting on the 18th of December, do you agree that we should give a slot for a debate on the report? Mr. Yip Kok Him. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Now, we have no problem with this being a debate, a motion moved by the panel chairman, not counting towards Ms. Sit Ho's turn. Mr. Ip Kong, first of all, let's see whether we will allow the debate on the 18th of December. Then it's a question of whether it's 1+1 or 1+2. But the question is really about 1+1 or 1+2. Now, so no one has problems with debate slot on the 18th of December. In that case, there will be a slot for this debate. Whether it's 1+1 or 1+2, Secretary General, what is the usual practice, please? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On precedents of debates at the Council meetings, we've considered previous reports. Usually, such a debate will replace the slot of one of the members' motion not intended to have legislative effect. So, in other words, it's usually 1+1. But in rare cases, then there was the 1+2 arrangement. For example, the subcommittee report on the West Kowloon Cultural District report. There was one case of 1+2. And then the report of the subcommittee on poverty under the welfare services panel, again, there was a debate on it, 1+2. And there were special cases of 2+3 even, but those were really special cases. But when we look at the usual practice, usually is 1+1. That's the majority of the cases. Mr. Ip Kok Him. Our view is that we should keep to the past practice. If in most cases it's 1+1, then we think 1+1 is more appropriate. Fine. Now, usually when it comes to panel report debate, usually is 1+1. So we accept 1+1 then. So we will schedule the slot for this debate and then we'll allow another motion debate. Okay? Any other business? Nothing under that.